Have you ever wondered if there's actually a wrong time to touch yourself after turning 65? Most people assume self-pleasure is always harmless. But is it really that simple? What if the timing could quietly affect your heart, your blood pressure, or even your long-term health? As you age, your body becomes more delicate. Your heart, circulation, and overall systems don't respond the same way they did in your younger years. Activities that once felt effortless can now place unexpected strain on your system if done at the wrong moment. In this video, we'll uncover 5 specific times when doctors strongly advise older adults to avoid any form of self-stimulation. These warnings aren't meant to scare you. They're practical reminders designed to help you stay safe, steady, and aligned with the natural changes your body is going through. Make sure to stay with me until the end, because knowing when not to is just as important as knowing when it's safe. Even small adjustments can protect your clarity, preserve your energy, and safeguard your long-term well-being. Let's dive into the first important point. During blood pressure spikes, you may not always feel it happening, but even in the calm of your own home, blood pressure can surge unexpectedly. Stress, a restless night of poor sleep, dehydration, or certain medications can trigger it, and adding extra strain in those moments could quietly push your body beyond its limits. When your blood pressure suddenly spikes, engaging in any activity that naturally raises your heart rate or builds physical tension can push your body past a safe limit. After 65, your blood vessels simply aren't as elastic as they once were. The heart has to work harder, and the margin for error becomes smaller. In those moments, especially when you don't even notice the spike, you could be just one breath or one heartbeat away from dizziness, nausea, or something much worse. The real concern isn't just the temporary discomfort, it's the risk that lingers beneath the surface. Any exertion during these heightened moments can strain the arteries, increase the heart's workload, and in some cases, even trigger an irregular heartbeat. Rarely, it may escalate into a more serious cardiac event. I once heard about a man named Leon, who was 76 years old. He had just finished watching a heated news broadcast that left him unsettled, though he didn't fully recognize how worked up he was. After stepping into the shower, he decided to relax in private. Within minutes, a sharp tightness spread across his chest, forcing him to sit down. His blood pressure was alarmingly high, and when he later spoke with his doctor, he learned he had narrowly avoided a much more serious medical crisis. This doesn't mean you need to monitor every single heartbeat or live in constant worry. But if you've been under stress, had a poor night's rest, or you've been diagnosed with high blood pressure, it's essential to pause and listen to your body before acting. Ask yourself, do you feel flushed or unusually warm? Are your hands trembling slightly, or does your head feel foggy? Is your pulse beating harder or faster than normal? If the answer is yes, then wait. Drink some water, take a few slow, steady breaths, and give your system time to settle down. A calm body is far more capable of handling stimulation. It knows how to respond, how to recover, and how to return to balance without overreacting or putting your health at unnecessary risk. Number 2, right after eating. It might feel perfectly harmless. You've just finished a comforting meal, you're relaxed, and the house is quiet. But engaging in any form of physical exertion, especially the kind that raises your heart rate, right after eating, can bring unexpected risks for older adults. Here's why. Once you finish a meal, your body quickly redirects a large share of blood flow toward the digestive system. That shift is essential for breaking down food, but it also means your heart and brain are receiving less oxygen-rich blood for a short period of time. If the meal was heavy, high in fat, or larger than usual, this effect becomes even more noticeable. And for someone over 65, whose circulation may already be slower, or whose arteries are narrower, that temporary imbalance can have real consequences. Now imagine adding physical activity on top of that demand. Your body is suddenly juggling multiple tasks at once: digesting food, maintaining steady circulation, managing shifts in blood pressure, and keeping your heart rate in check. That's when symptoms often appear. Some people notice dizziness, Others feel lightheaded or foggy, while some may experience sudden flushing or weakness. There was a man named Gerald, 74, who had a routine of starting his mornings with a light breakfast and then taking a quiet pause before the rest of his day. But one morning, he skipped his usual break and jumped straight into a physically exerting activity. Within minutes, his body reacted. He felt faint and was forced to lie down. Later, his doctor explained that the drop in blood pressure had happened because his body was still deeply engaged in digesting his meal, leaving fewer resources available to stabilize circulation during exertion. The lesson is simple but powerful. Give your body time to adjust after eating. Ideally, wait at least 45 to 60 minutes before doing anything that significantly raises your circulation, blood pressure, or physical tension. That short window of rest allows your system to finish the work of digestion and ensures your body is ready to handle physical activity without unnecessary strain. That includes everything from exercise to yard work and, yes, even private self-care. This isn't about creating fear. It's about understanding rhythm. Your body works best when it's allowed to complete one function before being asked to take on another. After 65, that sense of timing becomes more important than ever. It's not only a matter of comfort, but of safety. A simple adjustment, just a small pause, can make all the difference. It helps you feel clearer, steadier, and more in tune with the natural changes your body is going through. If you're still with me and finding these insights valuable, I'd love for you to comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos. Your support allows us to keep sharing helpful information that's designed to inform, guide, and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, when you're experiencing chest discomfort or breathlessness. Not every warning sign shouts loudly. In fact, some of the most critical ones arrive quietly. A faint tightness in your chest, a sudden shortness of breath while simply walking across the room, or a deep sense of fatigue that doesn't match what you've been doing, and yet, this is exactly the time when many people try to push through or distract themselves. But after 65, those subtle signs are your body's way of saying, not now. Any kind of physical exertion, even solitary activity, naturally raises your heart rate and increases the demand for oxygen. In a strong, healthy body, that's completely normal. But if your heart is not functioning at its best, or if your arteries have narrowed with age, those extra demands can overwhelm your system in an instant, turning what seems minor into something far more serious. You might notice a heaviness in your chest, a subtle pressure right behind the breastbone, or even a flutter and pause in your heartbeat. These are not signals to brush aside. They are your body's way of warning you that your heart needs rest, not added strain. There was an older gentleman named Dennis, 80, who had lived for years with borderline heart issues. One evening, after moving some heavy furniture earlier in the day, he felt a slight tightness in his chest. Hoping to relax, he decided on a private moment of comfort. But halfway through, his body pushed back. He became flushed, lightheaded, and disoriented. His blood pressure had dropped suddenly, while his heart rate spiked. Thankfully, he recovered quickly. But his cardiologist later explained that even mild chest discomfort should always be taken seriously. For Dennis, that moment was a turning point, a reminder that these small warnings are red flags, not inconveniences. Your body has wisdom, especially at this stage of life. When something feels off, it's not fussiness, it's experience speaking. By respecting those signals, you give yourself the chance to prevent small issues from becoming emergencies. Chest tightness, shortness of breath, unusual fatigue. These are not challenges to push through. They are cues to pause. They are reminders to rest rather than resist. Offering yourself that pause is not weakness. It is a powerful act of self-preservation. After all, there's no reward for forcing your way through discomfort. But there is deep peace in knowing you took care of yourself before the situation escalated. Sometimes the most meaningful form of self-care is patience, waiting until your body clearly says yes. Number 4, Late at night when you are overtired, nighttime carries a quietness, a personal space, and often a sense of reflection. For many people, it's the only part of the day when they finally feel they have time just for themselves. But after 65, the hours just before bed can be surprisingly vulnerable. Choosing that moment for physical exertion or stimulation, especially when you are already overtired, may do more harm than good. When the body is deeply fatigued, several changes take place at once. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises, blood sugar levels tend to drop, and the nervous system becomes far more reactive than usual. Layer on top of that a sleep-deprived brain and a heart that has already shifted into its slower nighttime rhythm, and you have the perfect setup for imbalance. What might seem like a way to wind down can actually disrupt your internal systems. Instead of moving smoothly into restful sleep, your body is forced to switch gears, raising heart rate, spiking blood pressure, and flooding your system with stimulation it simply wasn't prepared for. Take Harold, for example, a 77-year-old who struggled with insomnia. To calm his nerves, he often relied on private stimulation at night, believing it would help him drift off more easily. But over time, he began to notice an opposite effect. Instead of resting better, he was waking more often during the night, feeling drained the next morning, shki, and even experiencing lightheadedness during the day. When Harold finally spoke with his doctor, the explanation became clear. That late-night overstimulation was interfering with his body's natural sleep hormones and disrupting the cycles of rest he so badly needed. It's easy to forget that arousal isn't only about mood or relaxation, it's also about chemistry. And when you introduce it during the body's recovery window, it can set off ripple effects that disturb memory, raise blood pressure, and affect mood well into the following day. That's why timing matters. Respecting your body's rhythms late at night ensures that rest remains restorative, instead of being replaced by unnecessary strain. Early evening, during those calm hours when you're still alert and your body feels balanced, tends to be a much safer window. But once the unmistakable signs of exhaustion appear, dry or heavy eyes, shallow breathing, or that foggy, irritable feeling, it's best to surrender to rest. After 65, sleep naturally becomes more fragile, and forcing stimulation at the wrong time can make it even harder to maintain good rest patterns. Let sleep arrive without interference and allow your body to follow its natural rhythm. There is a time for activity and a time for stillness. Late at night, when your body is quietly asking for peace, that's when it's wise to listen. If you've made it this far in the video and are finding these insights valuable, I'd love for you to comment number 4 or below to let me know you're still here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the important content we continue to create for you. Your support truly helps us share knowledge that can inform, encourage, and inspire. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. During recovery from illness or surgery. When you're on the mend, whether it's from a seasonal flu, a lingering cold, a recent fall, or even something more serious like surgery, it's natural to crave normalcy. You want to feel like yourself again, to return to routines that make life familiar and comforting. But this is one of the most overlooked times when physical exertion, including private self-stimulation, should be avoided. The reason is simple but critical. Your body is already working overtime behind the scenes. It is repairing damaged tissue, calming inflammation, balancing hormone levels, and processing medications that support healing. All of that requires enormous energy and careful coordination. Adding any extra demand on the heart, lungs, or nervous system, even if it seems brief or harmless, can pull vital resources away from where they're needed most. This becomes even more important if you're taking medications that directly affect circulation, blood pressure, or fluid balance. Drugs such as beta blockers, diuretics, and certain pain relievers can all change how your body responds to arousal or physical stress. What once felt routine and effortless may now bring unexpected reactions: dizziness, sudden weakness, chest discomfort, or even an irregular heartbeat. Consider the story of Eileen, a 75-year-old woman recovering from knee replacement surgery. She had been making steady progress at home, regaining her independence step by step. One afternoon, she felt more like herself again and decided to test her comfort level in a private way, just to feel normal. But within minutes, her body pushed back. Her face flushed, her energy drained, and she was forced to lie down. Later, her physical therapist gently reminded her of an important truth. Just because the mind feels ready does not mean the body is ready too. The safest rule of thumb is simple but powerful. Wait until your body feels fully stable. Your breathing should be easy and steady, your energy consistent throughout the day, and your blood pressure balanced without sudden spikes or drops. If you're uncertain, especially after heart problems, orthopedic procedures, or any illness that kept you bedridden or reduced your mobility, talk with your doctor before resuming physical activity. Healing requires patience. Honoring your body's own timeline is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. By giving yourself the time and space to recover, you're not losing anything. Instead, you're building the foundation for a stronger, steadier, and more responsive body when the moment is truly right. As we move into final thoughts, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned today. These aren't rules designed to frighten you. They are insights meant to protect you and help you make wiser choices. After 65, your body still deserves pleasure, comfort, and connection. But it also deserves timing that supports your health rather than working against it. It's not about denial, it's about balance. When you give your body the right conditions, pleasure can be safe, steady, and even more fulfilling. So, which of these moments surprised you the most? Have you ever noticed how your body reacts differently depending on the timing you choose? Reflecting on those small differences can give you valuable clues about your health and how to honor it. Thank you for spending this time with us today. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one key thing you learned and how you might apply it in your own life. Your experiences and insights matter, and reading your thoughts gives us inspiration and motivation to keep creating content that truly supports you. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. Your support means a great deal. It allows us to continue bringing you content that informs, empowers, and encourages healthier choices. Wishing you good health, happiness, and peace always, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss what's coming next.